The commercial banks are buying and selling and buying and selling and buying and selling. It's so much volume. Ted Butler talks about this a lot. Yet the net change is like nothing because it makes it look like there's all this volume. But there is a good portion of silver that is leaving the system, leaving the vault in a truck, and off it goes. And that silver, which, is a lot of it was a portion of the 300 million ounces that that India imported last year, leaving COMEX, leaving the LBMA. When it leaves the ecosystem like that, it's gone for good. Because whether it's a client who ultimately decided to keep it at Brinks JFK over Salt Lake City, even though she preferred Salt Lake City, or someone on a much more industrial outlook who is keeping it there, looking to capitalize on the industrial properties or potential of owning silver, when it leaves, it's never coming back. And that's really what I was trying to get at with all of these deliveries leaving the ecosystem. It speaks to a one-way ticket because you can't then take advantage of the industrial liquidity. And it really matters in silver, albeit we're seeing a lot of gold leave too. But with silver in particular, when it leaves, I don't think it's ever coming back. Yeah, they have been. And we've seen a lot more interest in sovereign mint coins too, because quite frankly, I've had a hard time even buying them for myself or recommending even for our company. I mean, I know I have to have them in stock and have to offer them, but it's something that I didn't take really much joy in doing, in buying coins that were trading at all-time high premiums when the silver price in and of itself was lagging. Now, I understand the argument and I understand the story, but it's still aggravating. And if it's aggravating for me, I can only imagine how the consumer felt. But what we're seeing right now is a more realistic semblance of reality. And, if you figure that most of the sovereign mint coins, the Krugerrand, the Philharmonic, the Maple Leaf, the Britannia, the Kangaroo, these are all selling somewhere between 350 and 375 over the price of silver. That's not too far away from where they always were, maybe a buck and a quarter above it. But most of the last 3 years, you were seeing $5, $6, $7, $8 over the price of silver, and often with delivery delays. So it's really turned into a buyer's market right now. And, I think there are people, when people are looking to buy, they're certainly very happy. To me, the hardest part is to try to understand, explain this and help people understand how the supply chain issues, how the premium issues have vacillated so much. And quite frankly, it mystifies even myself. And I guess we'll have to see if this is the beginning of a sustained period of reasonable premiums, or we're just going to move right back up into supply chain distortions and supply chain problems again. I'm not convinced that we won't, albeit, even at these levels, you're still roughly 5 to 7% higher than we were my whole career, premium wise. That's not much. That's not an anomaly or something to look at cross-eyed. But the question is, do we stay here or do we move back up? And part of me really feels like the mainstream has such minimal participation in this market yet that the minute they wake up, and whatever the catalyst is that wakes people up, you'll see things go right back up again, because I think there are too many people believing in this soft landing and believing everything's going to be okay, and they'll normalize the balance sheet and all of the same way it's always been, unless this time is different. Part of me believes it is. Yeah, we are going to issue our special today, and I believe it is going to be 1 ounce silver buffalo rounds. And they are going to be for $2.65 over spot on the 1 ounce buffalo rounds. And we also have a good amount of 2022 silver Maple Leafs and the Queen Britannia silver, the Queen issue silver Britannias. Now the Kings just came out. So the Britannias and the Maple Leafs will be $3.65 over, as cheap as I've sold them for literally in over 3 years, and $2.65 over on the silver buffalo rounds. So here again, those buffalo rounds were $5, $6 over 90 days ago, and delivery delays. So all of this is in stock. 2022 silver Maple Leafs, And I think the Britannias are 2023, but they're the queen version, not the king. Both of those at 365 over. So it's good availability, it's good price. Yeah, they've slid a little bit more. The percentage decline, the speed in which it's declining has certainly slowed down quite a bit, but they have still come down to levels that I think are without question the most affordable we've seen in quite some time, going all the way back prior to 2020. These are premiums that I honestly am shocked that we are at these levels. I'm happy to see it. It certainly makes buying sovereign coins much more attractive. It makes buying all silver items much more attractive. But it really shocks me how they went from such stratospheric levels for 3 years from the very, very top of the food chain. Every source that I scoured throughout the universe to buy this stuff was selling items at 3-4 times premium what they're being sold for right now. And then just like that, everything's come down. Now, I'm not convinced that this is not going to just turn right back around as more people start jumping back into this market. But right now, unequivocally, across the board on every silver item that we sell, from 1,000-ounce bars to silver eagles, the premiums are the lowest they've been since literally 2019. And I guess we'll have to see how this plays out with premium, but I'm very comfortable in recommending things at these levels. And I think a lot of people would have been happy to pay these prices a few years ago, all the way up through just recently here. Yeah, I mean, you'll see there are some companies that have some in inventory that will fire sale them out at under $1. But I think that if, depending upon the amount that you're buying, and are you keeping them inside the COMEX ecosystem, or are these bars that someone has sitting on their shelves that they're going to try and ship to you or to another depository? So I mean, it varies, but I would say in general, off of COMEX, you're probably still going to be north of $1.40, $1.50 an ounce for brand new COMEX bars in a COMEX facility. Now, you'll find some people who have bars sitting on their shelves at home, and they'll try to send them to you or to another depository. They'll be less, maybe even in some cases under $1, but they're few and far between. I guess it depends on the size of the order. If someone wants to buy a few 1,000-ounce bars and we have them on the shelf, yeah, they'll be attractive, maybe even under $1. But if you're looking to take a large position in COMEX and have them held in a depository, you're probably about $1.30, $1.40. Now, I haven't checked, but I think that's about where you're going to find them right now. It's been a little while since I've sold those, so that's one thing that I don't always have on my price sheet, but I would think that's a pretty accurate price. They've come down from $1.70 to $1.30, maybe even a little bit less on large quantities. I suppose I should check that next time we chat.